one thing that that you guys were really strong in way early in the history of Skillet is you guys hit the nail on the head with a lot of mental health topics before the mental health conversation kind of came to light more often. I think that's, if there's any blessing that kind of came from the pandemic over the last couple of years, it's that more and more people are talking about their mental health, talking about not being okay. But there was something that you guys were doing 10, 15 years ago. And I think I want to know, I'm curious, like, how has your writing evolved over the last few years, especially as you guys got into the pandemic era of like, okay, hey, like, this has been kind of a responsibility that's been placed on our hearts over the last several years, and now more than ever, this kind of topic and this subject matter is being brought to light even more. Kind of, how has that evolved over the years for you guys?
Mhm. Well, that's a great question. I think if I could be totally honest, I don't think it's changed for us. I think it was more like, hey, not in a braggy way. That's what we've always done. So keep doing what you've always done. Be authentic and be real. And I think there was a time. I mean, just being dead honest, I think that there was a time when that message. I don't really know the right way to say this, and maybe it's not fair. It might be too much of a generalization, but it's still early in the morning, so forgive me, everybody. But I think there was a time when the Skillet message was deemed a little cheesy from some of the corners of rock and roll, almost
Mhm.
like, why are you singing about mental health? Why are you singing about people feeling alone? Why are you singing about positivity and fighting for hope? It was looked at sort of like it's just not very rock and roll. And I think that changed around 2012. I remember all of a sudden Skillet became known as, in a positive way, as they're the what they call they're the positivity band. And all of a sudden you started seeing other groups singing about positive things, and I think that was really good. But I think that was kind of part and parcel for who Skillet was. It was the same. I remember we were one of the first rock bands, not the first, but one of the first rock bands to have girls. We had chicks playing metal drums and metal guitar, and there were some, Kitty and of course, Smashing Pumpkins had a girl bass player. I mean, there were people that did that, female bass player. Sheila E. from Prince, of course. But some people were like, I don't know, they got these girls in the band and it's super positive, and I don't know, they're doing a lot of anti-suicide stuff, and it was just kind of looked at a little bit like maybe they connected it with churchy. I don't really know what happened. But then all of a sudden 2010, 11, 12 hit, and all of a sudden all these girls start showing up in rock bands. And so I said, hey, you know what? That's fine with me. Skillet has always been real.